Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show. My name is Joseph Earl McPeek, Esquire the Third, and I'm going to answer physics' most achy question. Why does time not matter? And why does light not move? And why was Einstein wrong? And I have proof, I have charts, I have diagrams, and I have experiments to explain everything. First things first, I'm going to pause the music and I'm going to play a little bit of this Mandelbrot fractal. Why? Because it's going to get you thinking. Okay. I want you to think about what you're seeing and make you understand that you will never arrive at what you're searching for. Okay. Just like this Mandelbrot, this is a key insight into physics, into time, into light, into compute, into the 1D, into the 2D, into the 3D, into the 4D, into the 5D. And now I'm going to explain to you why you will never, ever get to the center. Because the center is not a destination. What you're looking for is proof of time. But you can't find it, can you? No, no. Time isn't in there. Okay, folks, let me start this over again. Time is not in here, folks. Look, this is a very, very important way to look at it, okay? Look at this. You see that line? That line, I'm going to stop it in just a second. Boom. Okay, so you see that line? The one that goes straight across? That's 1 bit. 1D. That line is 0. It is the rail. Okay? It is not even ones and zeros yet. Okay, that's the next step. Okay, let me not go too fast for you, but I'm showing you what it is. There is a fine line out there that you can never know how thin it is. Okay, I'm going to prove Einstein's wrong tonight. I've only been talking for 3 minutes and 45 seconds, but I'm going to prove Einstein wrong. Just stay with me, okay? So that is the line, the main line of the compute cycle that is called the superposition, that is called the zero. It's always heads and tails. It is nowhere and somewhere at once. It has no east, west, north, south. It has no up and down. It has no left and right. It has nothing. There is nowhere in there. Okay? If you ever try to get to that line, you're never going to see it. Nope. So I'm going to now start it again. Now look, do you ever get to the line? Let's say you want to get to the line, right? Okay, we're going to the line, right? This proves that light don't move. Okay, watch these Mandelbrot patterns. And you're like, okay, well, I'm trying to get in the cracks of the piano, where the notes are, and I'm trying to see if I can aim myself towards that line so that I can finally see time ticking. No, you will never see time ticking. Time doesn't operate in this construct or realm, okay? So now I'm going to put the music back on. So why is this important? This is very important. Okay, guys? I'm going to turn that down. This is important because if Einstein was wrong, that means everybody was wrong. For 100, 150 years, everybody's been wrong. If everybody goes off what Einstein says and reads in the books that light moves at a certain speed, then we're all screwed. So here's how I'm going to prove it. You saw that Mandelbrot, right? So let me take you through the five realms of reality. This has to do with string theory. I call it string tip theory. The end of the string lights up, and that's what computes. Just flashing. Just light flashing at Planck speed is compute. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay? So, like, you're trying to get down there, right? But down there is called the Planck. The Planck is nowhere. Okay? You will never get down there. That's why we say we only need 95% good. Okay? Because you're never going to arrive. No, you never arrive at time. Therefore, you can't measure it. You can't rule it. You can't put a ruler next to it. Think about it. Okay? So here we go. This is how I'm going to disprove Einstein. Okay? I'm just going to let that go. And now it's me. Right now. Me and Einstein duking it out. So, you see that light back there? Okay, we'll start there. That light does not move. Why? Because it's just sitting there waiting for matter to make it lit. Okay? So light doesn't go anywhere. Yes, each photon is a discrete packet. That is true. Light is a discrete packet, just like Einstein said in the electro effect paper of 1905. Right, baby? Oh, she hears me talking. Baby, daddy's got to work. So, the electro effect of light hitting. Baby, I can't play right now. Is how Einstein won his first Nobel Peace Prize, right? Is that what it was? A Peace Prize? A first Nobel for science? Did he win it in 1921 or was that special relativity? I think he won it and he wrote it in 1905, I'm pretty sure. We'll get our facts straight later, but anyways, he was wrong. Had he... See, this is what he did. He shined the light down onto the piece of metal, right? Do we have that? Oh, yeah, we do. Look. This is what Einstein did. He shined the light onto the piece of metal, right? And no matter how bright he made the light, the electrons still would not skip off. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with frequency. So, he won a Nobel for that. Why? Because he showed, and here's the key thing, he did not move the light. Sure, he shined it down onto a piece of metal, and electrons bounced. But he did not move the light. Had he taken his light like this and just moved it, you know what he would have saw? He would have saw light has no Doppler like sound. Sound has inertia, therefore it has a field front. Light does not. Therefore, if there's no inertia and there's no modulating field front like amplitude on a speaker, you see, okay, guys, do you see those blue things all over my shirt? That is compute. That is not shine. That is computing right in front of your face. You see it, right? The lens flare? Folks, that is light computing with matter only because we are moving. Even when I stop right here, boom, me and the chair and the light and the flashlight are moving through space at an incredible rate. 25, 30,000 miles per hour at least. On top of the spiral arm that's going at least 30 or 40,000 miles per hour too. Okay? So when you add it all up and you add the speed on top of the speed on top of the speed, you are going about as fast as Einstein thought light was. But light ain't going nowhere. Does anybody get what I'm trying to say here? Light does not move. It sits there and waits for an atom to float by. And if an atom doesn't float by, it remains dark and not lit forever. Okay? So it's either alive forever because it interacted and it deposited its photon relay into the atom, or it didn't and it remains dark and not lit and non-computed. Okay, guys, we gotta go. We'll come back with part 2 and explain to you why light does not move, why Einstein was wrong, and why time is a monster and it's the last thing you want to use to measure. The telescope is the last thing you want to look through. A microscope is the last thing. A watch is the last thing to wear. A clock is the last thing to look at on the wall. Okay? Because it goes 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D. Time is 5D. It is the last. Get it out of here. If you're a racer, time is of no consequence because you're not looking at the clock and you're not carrying a watch either. You're a racer. You keep your eyes on the road. That's reality, folks. And Einstein, he messed up. Okay, so I'll explain more later. Thank you.